tried to buy a small business and I just got beat. As I recently talked about on the channel, I've made it my stated goal to try and dramatically increase my cash flow position, and my intention is to do that by buying 1 or 2 or 3 small businesses over the next year and a half or so. And since I've made it to Houston, I'm now very much in my search and trying to find one of these businesses. And yes, I am filming from my newly renovated kitchen. I'll do a full breakdown on the rehab we did on the house very soon, so stay tuned for that. You could call this a sneak peek. But the very same day that I flew down from Chicago to Houston to actually make my official move here, I actually went and took a look at a business towards the downtown area. It's actually an industrial property, and it was selling the business within that property. So not only did you have the business value in this deal, but you also had the real estate value, and I thought it was for a very good price, at least given the cash flow, which is my primary consideration here, since again, I'm trying to raise the cash flow number. But if I can have some real estate to kind of fall back on, something that I'm very comfortable with, then even if the business might not be something that I'm totally familiar with, I'd sort of have that real estate backstop if things went wrong with the business. So I went and took a look at the property and the business, and I met with the owners of that business who are trying to retire, and I talked with them for about 2 hours, really just about all sorts of things, and I thought we had a really good rapport. I liked what I saw with the business. It seemed to have some clear avenues for growth, and then of course you had the property that was being sold for a very fair price, at least according to my own estimation. I submitted something called an LOI, a letter of intent, and this is sort of like the pre-agreement stage of the deal. You see this a lot with commercial real estate, since this was technically a real estate transaction at its core. The LOI usually includes some basic deal terms like price and timing and sort of the big ticket items that might be a stopping point before you actually get into an agreement. But once both parties agree on those basic terms laid out in the LOI, then you would move to actually create a formal purchase agreement that would lay out all of the detailed terms. I whipped up that LOI saying, hey, here are the terms that I'd be interested in this deal for. What do you think? So I gave it to the listing agent, who then gave it to the owners, who then decided to go with someone else. I'm told it was between that person and myself, so I guess you could say I was close. I guess there's a chance that that deal would fall apart and then I would be next in line, so there's a chance I could still get the deal. But really, I just have to move on because I can't really bank on that actually happening. And it is pretty frustrating because I put a lot of time and effort into researching the deal and learning about what the business was and trying to figure out ways to potentially grow that to see if it's actually something I should pursue. And then of course, looking at the property as well, because it's really 2 parts to this deal. And that's not even including the time I spent actually going to the place and talking with the owners. And that's really the nature of the game. With real estate or buying businesses, you're never the only person out there. There are other people who are potentially going to buy this thing or want to buy this thing. And even if there are no other people who are willing to buy the thing, that still doesn't mean that the seller will sell to you, because they have to want to sell to you in the first place. Now, while it is frustrating to lose, I do have to maintain focus because I still want to achieve this goal, which means I got to start looking at other deals. It's not as though the very first deal I made an offer on was going to be the one that stuck. Although it wouldn't be impossible, but probably pretty unlikely if I'm really getting something for a good price. And timing is a big part of it too. I'm told that this other buyer was interested in this business many months ago. It went under contract once and looked like it was going to close. It ended up falling apart. And apparently this buyer had some pretty good rapport going with the seller as well, so I was behind him. Which is why you shouldn't burn bridges, because they liked him enough to actually go back to him after the deal fell apart, because he was interested before that deal went under contract. You can really apply that to anything. You want to try and set a good impression with whoever you're dealing with, especially when it comes to investing if you're trying to get a good deal. So I'm still very much on the hunt, just not for that deal anymore. And I'm actually looking at another deal that has very similar numbers. The business itself is quite different, but it is interesting and I'm learning a lot right now. If anything comes of that, I'll definitely let you know. And so the hunt continues. But anyways, if you like this video, definitely like, comment, and subscribe, since that would go a long way towards helping the channel. But until next time, take care.